Welcome back. Today you're going to see me do several tasks that we want you to repeat in the lab here. So to do that, just be sure that you bring your safety glasses and your gloves with you. Not necessarily will you use your gloves, it depends on the circumstances, but always have them available to you. Now, the toolbox you should get from us, and we know where all that's at. We prefer to do that because in the past, students just keep putting it back in the wrong slot. So just tell us what you need and we'll get it for you. If it is in the tool crib, i.e. heavy duty tools or one of the kind type tools, just go to the tool crib and get them. Everything is labeled so you should be able to find it. You're going to need the battery operated drill and you're going to need to have the electric hammer drill, all right, along with 16 or 24 ounce hammer. Now, when you open up the toolbox, there's going to be two tasks in here. We're only concerned about one right now. That's in the drop-in anchor. So you pull out a drop-in anchor and the proper bit. Now, the reason I say the proper bit is we may start off with 3/8. Well, maybe when we go to buy some more, it may be 1/2 inch or 3/4 or whatever it is. Be sure the drill bit matches the anchor bit. It also has to be concrete now, okay? You can tell the difference in the concrete bit, all right, to a standard drill bit. You'll never get through concrete with a standard drill bit, all right? The other thing that you need to be aware of is if you're using this Milwaukee hammer drill, and this is the one we have right at the present moment, it has to have a clear shank, all right? Some of the other tools back there, Bosch, another Milwaukee tool, have these little notches, 3 of them or 4 of them, on the downside of the shaft, all right? That is for a specific type tool. So that drill bit will fit in this bit, but it won't work correctly, okay? Vice versa, this will fit into the other ones, but because of the design, you are not going to get the proper operation procedures for that. All right, so just be aware of that. So now what we're going to do is, I'm going to take you outside and we're going to drill a hole, clean it out, insert it, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So that when your time comes that you're ready to do this lab, you let us know, we'll help you get the materials out, and just think safety, okay? So now we're outside. Now the location of the concrete block, the slab that we're using, may change. So you may have to ask us where it's at the time. Typically it will be over in the woodworking area, all right? But for right now, we have it here, and you can move it to adjust it to wherever you need to go. All right, like I said, you need to get the correct bit. Now, when you go to operate this, be sure that it's unplugged. Open up the jaws, all right, clockwise, counterclockwise. Slip the bit in, and you'll know that it's a 3/8 because it's stamped on there. Your better bits are always like that, all right? Then just tighten that up. Now the chuck key is on this rubber, what I call the idiot band, all right, to keep it from not being lost. All right, and I'll also show you something. When you go to tighten this down, it shouldn't slip, and the reason that is doing that is because people have damaged this key and it has to be replaced. All right, so now we're ready to do our operations. Now when you're working with concrete, when you get this tool in your hand, you'll see it better, but one side says 1 and the other one says 2. That's your speeds, all right? And depending on where it's pointed is the speed. We always want it on 1 when you're doing concrete. On top, you'll notice that it has the symbol of the hammer or the drill. Wherever this is pointing, the little, not on top of the piece of plastic, that's what mode it's in. And you need to have it in the hammer drill. That's what makes it special, all right? Of course, you have your reverse, forward, reverse, and forward button, all right? Always, I don't want to sound cynical, but always check to be sure what direction the bit's going. I've had students come out here and spend 30 minutes trying to drill this hole and blame it on the bit when it's actually the operator. All right? So now what you have to do, and there's different ways of doing this. This tool does have a mounting device where you can stick a depth gauge rod on it. Just because they make it all out of plastic now, it just doesn't hold up. All right? If you have one that's metal, I highly advise you use it. Otherwise, the best thing to do is just put tape on this puppy. All right? Put a piece of black tape. That black tape is in the tool crib. All right? Wrap it around, and of course, the way that you're going to check this out is just put your drill bit right up against your work. All right? Now you know that you got to put the tape about somewhere in here, maybe a little lower, because there's going to be crud in there and everything else. All right? So that's what you want to do. You want to tape that up. So we're going to tape it up, and then we're going to drill our hole. All right. So now we'll tape it up. Again, match up the bit as close as you possibly can. It's not an exact science. All right, so I'm just picking it right there. Again, be sure you got the thing turned off, not plugged in. All right, it's really a bad, ugly scene when this thing takes off. All right, so therefore, hook up your plugs. Sure, if they're damaged by chance, just let me know, we'll get them fixed. All right. Now, the nice thing about this is you can twist this handle and rotate it where it's comfortable for you. All right. Check to be sure the direction is going right. All right. For me, that's proper. Okay. I'm going clockwise. I know where my tool is located. Now, when you go to set this down, you don't need to wear gloves on this thing because, one, it's a twisting operation. All right? Get a good grip on the handle, put your fingers on the trigger, and then you're going to slightly push down, and when it takes off, then you want to apply more pressure. All right? So here we go. Now, brush away any of the leftovers and go clean out the hole. Now you notice, you see where I still, even though it looked like I was flush, I wasn't. So I have to continue going. For me, I would go a little bit further on this. All right, double check it because you only have one shot at this. All right, pick up your hammer and your wedge. Again, you're going to see all different versions of this. All right, so don't get locked in. And what you want to do is you're going to tap on this. So you want to bring the threads up. You don't want your thread to be showing because it's going to damage it. So you run the nut up a little bit above it. Because if you have to do a lot of work on this, you're not doing it right. All right? Now, just take a wrench and tighten it down. As it pulls in, it'll spread those wing bolts out. All right? To pass and to achieve a go on this, this is what you have to do. All right? So please be cautious. If you want hearing protection, we do have hearing protection available because this does get a little loud every once in a while. All right, but for us deaf people, it doesn't matter anymore.